Let's call to order the following policy committee meeting for Thursday, March 11, 2021. Madam Clerk, if you'll call the roll for members present, please.
Yes, Director Clark,
Here.
White,
Here.
and Gould. Turning it back over to you.
Thank you very much. And I'm, by the way, here. So I see on the agenda, no public comment. Do we have anyone that wants to address the policy committee?
Didn't have anyone reach out beforehand, but Art, if you could unmute all of our attendees and give them a chance if they so wish.
The only attendees are my second account and Metro Cable. So assuming if Metro Cable has nothing else to say, my second account has nothing else to say.
Perfect.
So no one's joining us in that regard. All right, hold on, the iPad's struggling. There we go. Okay, with that, then let's I'll entertain entertain a motion for consent agenda.
So move.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a first and a second on the consent. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Clark,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
and Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to action items. First action item and the only action item tonight is a reserve funding policy from still our CFO, Amanda Thomas. You'll go ahead and take the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, directors. I'm here this evening to present the recommended revisions to the district's reserve funding policy, which was adopted in 2013 and establishes target minimum and maximum reserve levels for different categories of reserves, including general fund operating reserves. This item is a follow-up to a January 28th presentation to the Finance and Audit Committee, which indicated that the minimum and maximum target levels remain appropriate and that the district is largely in compliance with the established reserve targets. However, that review also identified that updates to the policy are needed in order to reflect changes in other policies and practices that have occurred since the policy was adopted in 2013. The proposed revised policy incorporates the necessary updates, including eliminating the compensated absences reserve, which has never been established as a reserve, but rather is funded in the annual budget. Eliminating the deferred compensation plan reserve because the board in 2016 approved transferring this reserve to be held by the plan administrator. Updating language for the post-retirement medical trust fund to reflect changes that have occurred in actuarial practices and terminology. Updating the early debt extinguishment reserve to reflect revisions to the pension funding bonds early payoff policy that were approved in 2017. And finally, adding references to the Development Impact Fees Fund and the Intergovernmental Transfer Fund. With these changes, the policy would be up to date with current policies and practices. The policy was presented to the Finance and Audit Committee on March 25th, and with your approval, it would be referred to the full board for its consideration. Happy to take any questions you have.
Any questions from fellow board members?
Nope.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the policy.
I motion that we adopt the policy and take it to full board.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second to adopt staff's recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Clark,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
and Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Appreciate your time and effort there. Any other questions or comments for the good of the order? With bated breath, we announce that the next policy meeting will be TBD. It's a weird time of year. I'm not sure when that is, but it's definitely a weird time of year. Any questions? Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting and prepare ourselves for full board. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure.